Welcome back, everyone. We're diving into the Rigvedic again today, but focusing on something new.
New, but pretty important. We're going to be looking at kings
Gosh.
and lineages, the real power players of early Vedic civilization.
Think of it like piecing together a puzzle. We're using these hymns and poems to try to get a sense of the history and beliefs of a time before recorded history.
It's like trying to capture lightning in a bottle, isn't it? These fleeting glimpses into a world of powerful kings
Epic battles.
and the ever-present favor of the gods.
Okay, so let's start with, I guess, a lineage that is a real cornerstone of Vedic power, the Parata lineage. We find figures like Devadasa, an early king with a strong connection to Indra.
The hymns really highlight Devadasa's piety, but also his victories, especially against those rival tribes like the Dasa. And there's this pattern that emerges, this connection between a king's righteousness and divine favor, central to the Vedic worldview.
It's not just about, brute strength. There's this moral dimension, this idea of ruling in accordance with those divine principles.
Exactly. And speaking of victories, the Harata lineage gives us one of the most famous conflicts, the Battle of the Ten Kings.
Oh yeah, King Sudas. 10 tribes uniting against him. That's like the stuff of legends, right?
It really is. The scale of the conflict on the banks of the Purusni River is incredible. And Sudas's victory,
Guided by
the sages Vasishtha and Vishvamitra,
powerful allies.
it wasn't just a military win either. It really solidified that Farada dominance and set the stage for Vedic culture to flourish,
So that's the Paratas, a real powerhouse.
setting the stage for so much that comes later.
Now, what about the Puru lineage? They seem a little bit more mysterious, right?
A little less in your face, maybe. Puru himself isn't as prominent in the Rig Veda, but his legacy.
That's all about stability.
And that core concept of dharma.
Dharma, righteous conduct. Essential for a society to thrive, right?
Absolutely. It's about acting in alignment with the natural order, with cosmic harmony, and Puru becomes this symbolic ancestor of the Puru tribe, really embodying that idea.
It's amazing how this idea, this concept of dharma, becomes so central in later Indian thought and philosophy and everyday life. We're seeing those seeds being planted right here.
Absolutely. And then you have a king like Trasadasyu.
A Puru king known for upholding dharma, for winning victories under Indra's blessing.
It reinforces that model of kingship. Righteous leadership is divinely favored. And that resonated throughout Vedic society. It's like a template for good governance.
So we've got these themes that keep popping up, right? Strong leaders, divine favor.
Dharma.
It's a blueprint for leading a society, for being in harmony with the cosmos. But what about when these lineages start to really spread their influence? How does the Vedic world expand?
That's where Yayati comes in. He's this fascinating figure, and his sons really represent how Vedic influence starts branching out in different directions.
So different branches of the family taking Vedic culture and traditions with them.
Exactly. So you've got Yadu. He becomes the ancestor of the Yadavas, a lineage we still see in Hinduism today.
Wait a minute. The Yadavas. Isn't that the lineage of Krishna? That feels...
Hugely significant.
I mean, he's like one of the most important figures in Hindu thought.
And it all goes back to one of Yayati's sons. It's a testament to the lasting legacy of these early lineages.
It's amazing how it all connects. We're talking about lineages that span centuries and shape religious beliefs that are still alive and vibrant. Now, what about Yayati's other sons? Where did they end up?
You have Turvasha. His descendants are the Turvashas, known for being adaptable and forging strategic alliances.
Real political players.
Then you have Anu and Druyu. Their lineages headed northwest, possibly even beyond the Indian subcontinent.
So we see the beginnings of a civilization on the move, carrying its traditions and beliefs, each branch adding to the complexity of Indian history.
And as we explore these branches, we stumble upon another important lineage, the Ayla lineage, sometimes called the lunar lineage. Their connection to the divine is fascinating.
Lunar lineage. I'm intrigued. Tell me more about this connection to the heavens.
Well, one key figure is Puravravas. He's more prominent in later myths, but we see his connection to the Ayla lineage in the Rig Veda. He's known for this incredible romance with Urvashi,
Urvashi.
a celestial nymph. Their love story symbolizes the Ayla lineage's connection to the divine.
Talk about bridging the gap between the human and the divine. A romance with a celestial nymph. That's a powerful image.
And alongside this celestial connection, we have another important figure, Ikshvaku, the symbolic founder of the solar dynasty.
So two sides of the same coin, the lunar and the solar lineages.
Exactly. While the Rigveda doesn't tell us much about Ikshvaku, his lineage becomes hugely important later on in the epics, representing those ideals of nobility and leadership.
So we have these lineages representing the celestial and the earthly, the divine and the human, all essential for a thriving society. It's like a cosmic balancing act.
Absolutely. And speaking of influential figures, we can't forget the priests, those wise sages that played such a crucial role in shaping Vedic society.
Oh, right, the Angarasas. We touched on them earlier. Those keepers of rituals and knowledge, especially of Agni, the fire god.
They played such a central role in maintaining those Vedic traditions and in guiding the kings. They were the bridge between the human and the divine, the interpreters of the cosmos.
But they're not without their own human dramas and rivalries. It's like, even in a world focused on the divine, those earthly power dynamics still play out.
Think of Vasishtha and Vishwamitra. Incredibly wise and powerful, but often locked in the struggle for influence.
Yeah, it humanizes them a bit, doesn't it? I mean, we see these figures grappling with complex issues, navigating power and ambition.
Just like we do today. They're not just these abstract mythical figures, they're reflections of human nature itself.
So we've explored these powerful lineages, the kings who shaped Vedic civilization, the sages who guided them. But we've only just scratched the surface, haven't we?
We've only just begun to uncover the richness of the Rigveda. Next time, we'll delve deeper into the spiritual heart of this ancient world, the beliefs, the rituals, the deities that shaped their understanding of the universe. It's going to be fascinating. Last time, we focused on those powerful lineages and the kings who really shaped Vedic civilization. But now, let's shift gears a little and dive into the spiritual core of this ancient world.
Sounds good to me. We've mentioned rituals and sacrifices a few times, but I guess what I'm really curious about is their purpose. Like, what role did they actually play in Vedic society?
Well, you have to try to imagine a world where the line between humans and the divine was a lot more permeable, you know?
Yeah, I can see that.
The rituals, often involving fire sacrifice, were seen as this direct way to connect with the gods, to seek blessings, maintain that cosmic order. It wasn't just about prayer, it was about active participation.
So less about asking for favors and more about working together, maintaining that balance between humanity and the divine.
Exactly. And remember, Rita, that concept of cosmic order that governs everything.
Yeah, it's come up a few times.
Well, they believed that performing these rituals was essential for maintaining Rita, for ensuring the prosperity of the whole community. So it was practical and spiritual.
Okay, so we talked about Indra, the king of the gods. But who are some of the other big players in the Vedic pantheon? What were they associated with? And how did the Vedic people understand their roles?
Well, alongside Indra, you have Agni, the fire god. He was absolutely central.
Why fire, it seems.
Well, fire was sacred, the symbol of transformation and purification.
Right.
And Agni was the intermediary between humans and gods, the one who carries those offerings and prayers up to the heavens.
So almost like a messenger, a bridge between those realms.
Exactly. And each deity really represented a different aspect of the cosmos or human experience. You have Surya, the sun god, symbolizing light, life, and cosmic order. And his daily journey across the sky, it mirrors that cyclical nature of time, the eternal rhythm.
So woven into the fabric of everyday life.
Absolutely. And then there's Ushas, the goddess of dawn. She embodies new beginnings, hope.
Dispelling the darkness. Yeah, that's
Her arrival each morning was like this reminder of the constant renewal of life.
beautiful.
And we see this poetic sensibility throughout the Rigveda. The
Yeah.
hymns dedicated to these deities, they're not just, recitations. They're full of vivid imagery, emotional depth. You see the Ashvins, divine twins linked with healing and protection. And then you have Varuna, often associated with the vast night sky and representing that cosmic order and moral law.
It's incredible how these deities embody such fundamental aspects of human experience. The cycles of nature, the longing for healing, the need for meaning and order. It feels very universal.
That's part of what makes the Rigveda so compelling. We may not worship those same gods or perform those rituals, but those fundamental questions, those human longings, they still resonate, don't they?
Definitely. So we've got these powerful deities representing the forces of nature, these cosmic principles. But I'm curious, what about the everyday lives of the people themselves? What can we learn about their social structure, family life? Do they have good wifey?
No word on the wifey situation. Unfortunately, the Rigveda, while it offers these glimpses into the lives of kings and sages, it doesn't paint a complete picture of everyday life.
Right, more of a zoomed out view.
But there are clues. It was definitely a patriarchal society with a strong emphasis on family and lineage.
Okay, so the father as the head of the household, sons carrying on the family name.
Exactly. Themes that we see echoed throughout history, really.
And what about women? What were their roles?
It's not super detailed, but we see hints of their importance, especially within the family. But also in religious contexts, we see hymns dedicated to female deities like Aditi, the mother of the gods, or Sarasvati, goddess of knowledge and the arts, so they held spiritual authority.
So even within a patriarchal structure, women still had positions of power and influence, at least in those spiritual spheres.
And if we look beyond family life, we find evidence of cattle herding, agriculture, trade, the backbone of their economy, their relationship to the land.
A society deeply rooted in nature, dependent on the rhythms of the seasons. It's fascinating to picture.
And one concept that really helps us understand their worldview that we keep coming back to is dharma. It's more than just following rules. It's about understanding your place in the universe, fulfilling your unique purpose, acting in a way that upholds that cosmic harmony that Rita.
So more about aligning yourself with the natural order of things than blindly following an authority figure.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that interconnectedness, that your actions have consequences, not just for you, but for everyone. And I think that's a really powerful message, especially today, as we deal with global challenges and think about our impact on the planet.
This idea of interconnectedness, of responsibility for all beings, it's so relevant.
It's one of the things that makes these ancient texts so compelling. They offer these timeless insights into the human condition. The world's changed a lot, but those fundamental questions about our purpose, our responsibility, our relationship with the universe, those haven't changed.
I'm feeling a sense of awe, honestly, a real appreciation for that interconnectedness and a better understanding of what it means to live a life aligned with purpose, with Dharma.
And that, I think, is the real gift of engaging with these ancient texts. They give us a new perspective, a chance to see the world through the eyes of those who came before us, maybe even find new ways to answer those timeless questions.
It's been quite a journey, and we're not done yet. What other secrets and insights does the Rigveda have in store for us? Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground. The kings, the lineages, the deities, the rituals, even that concept of Dharma. But there's one more layer I'm curious about.
Okay, what's that?
Well, we've talked about Rita, the cosmic order, and how everything is connected. But I guess I'm wondering, how did the Vedic people actually picture the universe itself? Like, what was their model of the cosmos?
Ah, good question. And it's not a simple answer. You find different cosmological ideas and metaphors throughout the Rig Veda, but one image that keeps popping up is that of a multi-layered universe.
Multi-layered. Like what?
Well, think of it like a cosmic cake.
Okay, cosmic cake. I'm listening.
With different realms stacked on top of each other. The Rig Veda often talks about three main realms. First, you have the earth, where us humans hang out. And above that is the atmosphere, or the heavens, the realm of the sun, moon, and stars. And then, beyond even the heavens, is this realm sometimes called the highest heaven.
Okay, so 3 layers. Earth, heavens, and superheaven.
Got it. Now, are there specific deities or beings associated with each realm?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We've already talked about deities like Surya, the sun god, right? Or Ushas, the goddess of dawn. They reside in the heavens. They represent these celestial forces that influence life down here. The sun's warmth, the break of a new day.
Part of Earth's rhythm, even though they're up in a higher realm?
Exactly. And then up in that highest heaven, in that realm beyond our ordinary senses, you have deities like Varuna, who we talked about a bit before.
Right. The god of cosmic order and moral law.
He's often associated with the vastness of the night sky, those mysteries of the universe. So Varuna is like the ultimate cosmic authority, overseeing everything from way up there in superheaven. Now, you mentioned these realms aren't totally separate. So how did the Vedic people envision the interaction between them? Like, could you get a pizza delivered from one realm to another?
Maybe not pizza. But the hymns describe these connections, these pathways and movements. Deities travel between the layers, and humans, through rituals and righteous conduct, can aspire to ascend to those higher realms. It's a dynamic system, not static, with this interplay of energies and beings.
Like a cosmic ladder, each rung representing a higher level of understanding or closeness to the divine. Now, what I'm really curious about is, how did the Vedic people think about the creation of this universe? Where did it all begin?
Unlike some religious texts, the Rigveda doesn't give you this single, clear-cut creation myth. Instead, you get these poetic glimpses, all these hymns and verses that explore the mystery of creation from different angles.
So, more like pieces of a puzzle, different perspectives on the same grand event.
Yeah, exactly. So you have one hymn that describes a cosmic egg, this golden embryo containing everything in the universe, which then bursts forth to create the world.
Ah, the cosmic egg. A classic.
Right. And then other hymns describe this primal sacrifice where a cosmic being is dismembered and its parts become the elements of the universe.
So, sacrifice as a creative force, bringing order out of chaos. It reminds me of all those stories about gods dying and being reborn.
There are definitely parallels. And even though those narratives use different imagery, they all shared that sense of wonder and awe at the mystery of existence. They were grappling with the same big questions we ask today. Where do we come from? How did it all begin? It's pretty profound.
It is tapping into that deep human desire to understand our place in the universe.
And you know what's amazing? Even though their models of the cosmos don't quite match up with what we understand from science today, that core impulse, that search for meaning, that feeling of connection to something bigger than ourselves, it still resonates.
Absolutely. So we've got this multi-layered universe, poetic creation stories, this emphasis on interconnectedness and cosmic order. It's like taking a peek into the very mind of Vedic civilization.
And I think what we find is that their worldview still speaks to us today.
In what way?
That emphasis on interconnectedness, that search for meaning and purpose, that recognition that we're all part of this web of life, those are themes that are just as relevant now as they were thousands of years ago.
It's like the Rigveda is whispering across the centuries, sharing these timeless truths with us, reminding us of what it means to be human.
Exactly. And as we wrap up our deep dive today, I hope our listeners are left with a sense of wonder, a curiosity to explore more, and maybe a deeper appreciation for the wisdom these ancient texts can offer.
It's been a fantastic journey, exploring this world that's both ancient and somehow still relevant. And for anyone listening, remember, this is just the start. The Rigveda is just one piece of a vast and intricate puzzle. There are so many other Vedic texts, epics, and stories out there waiting to be discovered. So keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep into the mysteries of the universe and that ancient wisdom. Who knows what you might find?